And so, yeah, it does seem like they're moving. I will say this. Initially, I thought Collision would actually do great on Saturday nights, not for TV, but for going to the show. Because, like, hey, Saturday night, what do you want to do? Oh, AEW's in town. We don't have to work tomorrow, generally speaking. Let's go to that. But it doesn't seem like that really set the world on fire. So good that they move different nights. I would still say Tuesday. Go Tuesday. Make
Tuesday, huh?
because this is why also. And actually, I'd like to hear your opinion on this. I feel that even though it hasn't been said outright, that Collision is the B show, right? The
Of
flagship
course it
show
is.
is
Yeah.
Dynamite.
Hmm.
So my philosophy is everything should build to the A. You shouldn't
Well, I
go
agree.
A
But
and tamper
currently
down.
they're not doing Collision live, right? Like they
Yeah, they
taped
are.
Collision. It wasn't live tonight. No, they taped that.
Yeah, no, they did it. No, there was
No, no, they taped that after Dynamite or something. I'm sure of it because I had
really?
heard people are yeah, hmm
Oh.
yep,
Well, that's stupid.
yeah.
Cause
I mean,
well,
look, we're
no,
not fact checking. Somebody
yeah.
can clue us in if they know, but I had seen people online saying like, "Hey, it hit in the crowd this Kyle's match, right? Like, so it'll come
I
across
did.
great on TV,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
The
they
crowd for
typically
that was
don't.
fun. We'll talk about that,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, but
Well,
see, so
typically
that's
they
what I mean.
don't.
Are they going to do that? Yeah. I mean, like, so yeah, if you can find places that'll let you come in and do Tuesday, Wednesday, that's going to be tough. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe you'll have
No,
to
no, no,
like hit
no.
smaller city and
Dude,
then go.
what I
But
would
yeah.
do,
Hmm.
yeah, what I would do using the Midwest as the best coast, um, I would do, I would do Kansas City
Hmm.
is Dynamite on Wednesdays, but Tuesday is in Omaha for Collision,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Because no offense, but Omaha is not a big a town as
Nope.
Kansas City. And
Nope.
like I said, I think it
Yep.
should
Or you get
build
Topeka once in a while or something,
right.
right? Like you
Yeah.
get them, yeah. Hmm.
My philosophy is you build to the thing and then you
Yep.
leave us, oh my God, I
Yeah.
can't wait till
So
Tuesday
you
when they tell
get
us
Tulsa
more
on
stuff.
Tuesday night, but you get Oklahoma City on Wednesday.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so that's what I would do. Um, but yeah, again, Tuesdays, what's on
Hey,
Tuesdays?
Theo P in the chat here says Midwest has no coast. Man, it's the Midwest coast. You better
Hmm.
recognize.
Yeah, no coast, motherfucker. Um,
I'll take you to
I,
this
I,
lake coast. See what you think about that.
come on. Uh, but yeah, I think you're not competing with anything on Tuesday nights. I mean, I guess NXT, but let's all be completely transparent. CW is available in more homes, so it makes sense that their ratings kind of stabilize in comparison to USA. But ain't no one fucking watching that show. The only people watching NXT on CW were the same people that were watching Whose Line Is It Anyway on CW. It's just
Yeah,
on CW. You know what I mean? So get the
I
fuck out of
would
here
be
with that.
interested to see if we had some sort of data that could reliably tell us, but I don't think there's a huge group of folks that religiously watch both of those shows. So that like if you put them on the same night that they would have
Right.
some sort of like, oh no, right? And in
Mhm.
fact, if they're watching both of those shows, I bet you they would pick AEW Dynamite over NXT, right?
Or
Like I feel
Collision.
like they're yeah,
Collision.
or yeah, excuse me,
Yeah, yeah.
Collision. Yeah, I you know what I mean? I just get that
Yeah,
feel, right?
I agree. But anyhow, so uh long-winded way of saying we're doing it tonight. So
Yeah. Well,
let's,
hey
I
man, hold
guess
on. We had an eventful weekend.
we did. Oh, let's talk about more specific. We'll start with the more specific thing
Mm,
on the top, and then we'll get into the other fun thing that we did. But we went to a GCW show, our
yeah.
second.
Take a picture.
And
We went to.
yeah, take a
You
picture.
took a picture. You sent me a picture. Well, you sent me a video, but
Oh, wasn't that the best? That's
I
just the
sent the
worst
screenshot of
video.
that to Todd, and I was like, "See what happens when you miss GCW in Kansas City? Like, don't you feel foolish?"
Yeah. It was fun. I will say in comparison to some of the other GCW shows that I've seen, and I think we could even agree to this. And we're also an AEW show, so it's not like we need to prop up GCW more than it already is. It kind of feels like it's in a cold period right now. It's not like red hot. Um, News to me because I am a casual GCW fan. The god of this shit, Nick Gage is no longer with GCW.
Yeah, that doesn't
Um,
help you.
that doesn't help you at all. So yeah, I think
I
it kind of
also
feels
didn't
like
know they were having a Juggalo Championship Wrestling Invasion angle going on, and you could tell that by the crowd.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
I would also say that it kind of feels like Matt Cardona. We're like Matt Cardona's great, right? Everyone likes Matt Cardona. King of the Indies, all of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Deathmatch King?
Deathmatch King. But is he like the hottest he's ever been right now?
Nope.
No. But if he's coming to your town, wrestling your favorite local wrestler, wouldn't you go see that? Yeah.
But we saw an 84-year-old guy, Blade.
Jesus Christ. Their heavyweight champion, not GCW, the JCW. That motherfucker who was probably on blood thinners,
Yeah.
son of a that you sent me a clip about, or you sent me a post about how one of the wrestlers, the international wrestler that was supposed to be on the
Mm-hmm.
card, wasn't allowed because the athletic commission said she didn't
Didn't
have a social security
Social
card.
Security number. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because she's not from America, you fucking goofs. But we're okay with 96-year-old two left
Madman
foot.
Pondo.
Oh my God. More like Dead Man Pondo if he keeps fucking doing that.
At one point, so his tag team partner was Willie Mack, and
Love Willie Mack.
you started yelling, "Willie, help him! Don't let him do this, Willie! Don't let him do this."
Yeah, it's true. Like stuff fucking stop. Yeah, and again, further proof that athletic commissions are just a legal form of the mob because they're just collecting money and that's all they want. And so
What do
fucking
they
get out of
do?
here with that
There's
bullshit.
no
Nothing.
infrastructure that they
They do
give
blood
that
work.
benefits the group at all. I guess okay. So, but like
That's it.
everybody could contract their own blood work.
Yep.
EMT group to
Oh,
come in.
and trust me, if you need to get around that stuff, there are plenty of people that you can give a call to that says, "Hey, he's got the clap. We can't have that shit. Can you get some other blood? Yes. Or can you just have him go to this doctor? Yes."
Clapless
And then it's
blood.
fine.
Everybody's got that
Mm-hmm.
on hand.
Mm-hmm. That's a real
I
example.
know a
I
guy.
I I had to find a guy. He's a good guy.
Hey,
That
weird question, Bill. You by chance have the clap?
no. So, who cares? It was a fighter. I'll just say first names. It was a fighter by the name of Pat, and he was in the title match for Bellator. This was when Bellator was like on fire, brand
Okay.
new. We love this whole thing. We're competing with the UFC, and he was in the championship match. Well, he's got the clap, and you can't fight if you've got any
The only
transmittable
clap is
diseases.
from the crowd. That's it.
Exactly. So we needed that fight to happen. So I called a good friend of mine, Steve, and Steve knows a doctor, and he's like, "Well, let's figure this out." Okay, actually, give me an hour. And I was like, "All right." And then, legitimately, that was the last thing I handled of it. And the next night, Pat walked out, and he ended up losing, but it was a great fight, and no one knew the difference. I also did another fight. I'll tell this one because this is actually funny. James Krause lost to a guy, Clay French, by unanimous decision. Thing about that is, James Krause is really good at a guillotine choke. You know, right? One of
Mm-hmm.
these. Well, Krause had a guillotine choke, and I legitimately started to feel a pool of sweat on the back of my neck because I knew going into the fight that Clay French only had one eye and the other eye was bulging out as I could look cage side. And I was like, if this fucking thing falls out, we're done. We're
Crowd's
fucking
running out of
done.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, and we're on national TV too. This was on
We're gonna
HD
have a
Net.
senator up our ass
Oh my
tomorrow.
God. It was on Mark Cuban's channel, HD Net. And I was just
Yeah.
like, good God. It was the only
Yeah.
time where I was like, Kraus, fucking lose your grip yesterday. Like, I hope you have no grip in your hands. Luckily, nothing ended up happening except for Kraus lost. But yeah, Clay Fringe, one eye. Past that.
Lost to the
Again,
one-eyed man.
athletic commission. Yeah, athletic commission should good to go there. Anyhow, so we did GCW and Willie Mack was great. Matt Cardona was fun. And it was a good night. Good time.
Poor Poor lady sitting next to us. Couldn't get
Oh,
no
she asked
love
for a
from
hug.
the.
And he's like, move.
Don't touch me, he
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he won. And we're like, hey, hug her. And he's like,
Yeah, he
nah.
said,
I'm
fuck
like,
no. Yeah, he was out of it.
yeah.
He was the face, too. It was
Yeah, I know. Jerk. But then the night
GCW
before
is
that,
an experience. Look, even if
yes,
the GCW show is great or it's mild, it's an experience you're not going to forget. I will say that.
definitely. I would agree. And then the night before that, we were out at the Legends Field, the granddaddy of them all, and we saw a collection of Nelly, Trina, Pretty Ricky, Timbaland,
Timbaland.
B.O.B., and
Not Bone
DJ
Thugs.
Ashton Marr. Yeah, no Bone Thugs, no Trick Daddy. I told you this. The three reasons why I bought a ticket: Nelly, Bone Thugs, Trick Daddy. Two of the three didn't show up. So I was kind of like, "Ew,
It was hot.
nope.
It
Well,
was hot.
you learned, and I guess my wife, I thought she knew this too. Fun fact about me: when I get hot, I don't know how motherfuckers stand still. Oh, I'm hot. I gotta move, create my own little gust of wind, hopefully. And so everyone was like, "Where's Thomas going?" I'm like, "Bitch, I'm fucking hot. That takes a lot of energy." I was like, "I feel like it takes more energy to not move, just stay still and feel it."
It was hot.
Yeah, very
It was
hot.
hot, but we were out there. We were VIP, like ballers.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good
Yeah,
time.
you wore a black shirt and it was like 93 degrees.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember
Yeah.
because I saw you from afar and I was like, Tim didn't wear a black shirt. And
Yeah,
then
that
you were
was
walking
under the
closer.
other shirt, though.
I'm
So, like, it
still,
wasn't,
Jesus,
yeah. You know.
yeah, god damn. Uh, yeah, but it was a fun time. Here we go. So let's just have a quick fun sidebar, then we'll get into our actual AEW talk. So the main events for Tacos and Tequila, and I believe the 5 years that they've done it. First year, I didn't go, but it was ludicrous. Second year, I couldn't go. It was Ti. Third year, Flow Rida. Fourth year, um, T-Pain. And then this year, Nelly. Who do you want next year? Keeping with the same vibe. So don't say like, Hoobastank or whatever the fuck. Like, keep with the same vibe.
God damn, you
Hoobastank.
called the one I was going to say. It was Hoobastank.
Yeah, that's.
Man. Well, I mean, it would be nice if they could get Bone Thugs to actually show up.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of that era, but like, the big names aren't going to be like Snoop Dogg's not doing this
No.
show. You know what I mean?
I mean, Ludacris did, so maybe, but yeah, probably not.
Ludacris did, but yeah.
Ludacris would be great because I didn't see him. I'd want him to come. But yeah.
Ludacris would be great. I don't know. You got some in mind? Because I don't know.
Jeezy. Jeezy.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Jeezy. Oh
yeah,
my
that would
God.
be a good one. Yeah,
I put on for my city.
Yeah,
I put on for my.
That would be real good.
Yeah, that'd be who I
are
want.
the
Little flip.
big timers still doing that?
No, unfortunately. Well, Manny Fresh, or excuse me, not Manny Fresh. Baby is not. Baby is trying to kill Lil Wayne, legitimately. And then Manny Fresh. Manny Fresh is the other one, and he still does beats, but he would be like Timberland was, where Timberland had a great set, but he's just like, and this is another song I made.
Stuff like, remember?
I made that beat
Justin
too.
Timberlake sang this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Big Timers would be good. Jeezy would be good. Well, I want Little John again. I want Little John every year. I think Little John should be at every show.
Yeah. Yep.
My wife still talks about that. She's like, remember that time you lost your mind? I'm like, because the song was Lose Your Fucking Mind. Yeah, I did what Little John told me to do.
What Little John says.
Yeah. Wouldn't you? Yeah, wouldn't you? No.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about, we'll start with Dynamite, because again, that's the A show.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of sprinkle in some Collision with it. But yeah, we were in Seattle, Washington. I don't see the venue name.
Yeah, I saw it. It's the granddaddy of them all. You know what it is.
The granddaddy of them all.
Aranako Center or something weird like that, or Sokan Nakaraka. Yep.
Nailed it. Well, the person walking into the arena as we kick off the night was Tony Storm. And we're like, oh, yeah, timeless Tony Storm. She's on her way and she's looking whop. Mercedes
Yep.
Moné says, I ain't fucking letting you have any TV time. And she, bop, 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 da,
Props to
da,
her on
da,
this one. She
bop,
looked
bop.
pissed and looked,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, maniacal.
Mm-hmm.
It was like,
Yep.
no, you do not get the better of me. I win this shit.
Yeah, and so she stood tall and was like, ha ha ha. And now let's sprinkle in a little of Collision tonight. Tonight, we had a highlight package of Tony Storm, but before we could even get back into our silent movie era of Tony Storm, Mercedes Moné broke it, had her belts laying out, and was like, you might be the motherfucker, but I'm the fucker that's gonna. She just wanted to say fuck a lot, which, ooh, cool. And then next week for Dynamite 300, she's going to be defending her TBS championship against Mina. And after that quick segment, we go backstage, and Mina tells Tony Storm, do not get involved. Don't get involved. And Tony Storm's like, and she's like, don't do it. So,
Don't do
what do you
it.
think
Yeah.
of the story for this week amongst the Mercedes Tony saga?
I feel like they're doing a better job than I expected of stalling this out. From when they made the announcement of all right, this is the match, we're doing it all in. We thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
They did the promo off. Now what, right?
Mm-hmm.
The steak thing was a little short-lived and
Well,
odd,
apparently
but
Mercedes was like, I'll order you a steak to have you watch. So whatever that means.
yeah,
But
yeah. But we're doing fine here. I don't think we're ever going to remember the build up to this. I think it's the match that will probably be fire.
it would be cool. This was sometimes I get mad at wrestling fans because something will happen and they're like, obviously it shouldn't have gone down that way. You want to save blah, blah, blah. And it's like, in my opinion, you want to make sure that the audience is wanting to see everything. Now, whether they do or not, that's not necessarily your, you know, uh, you shouldn't be investigating that, but your desire is they want to see this segment and they want to see the next segment and they want to, right? I would have to add a little spice to this buildup. I'd have Tony Storm cost Mercedes the TBS championship against Mina next week. Now, people will tell you, oh, but I don't want Mercedes' first loss just to be a random dynamite. It's like, well, first off, it's Dynamite 300. Second, it's for a championship she's not going to defend at All In. And so that's what I would do. What do you think? What do you got going on?
Well, Theo in the chat here, who over the last couple of weeks, I'm starting to pick up that Theo doesn't watch AEW. He gets his AEW news through us, right? Like he has to watch the wrap up from us. And he says, does Mercedes Moné still have Cleon's hairstyle from the Warriors?
I don't know what any of that meant.
Yeah. So he's referring to the old movie, The Warriors. And
with the bottom.
I think so. And yeah, I don't remember it that. I think I've seen it once decades ago now because I'm old and I couldn't tell you who was who. But probably.
Let's say yes. Let's say yes. Even if it's not true, let's just say yes.
It's probably, we don't fact check here, Theo. But yeah. I mean, we're getting this match. But the match is, as I said, that's what we're going to come away remembering. And I think on paper enough, those two have done enough to leave that as is, right? It didn't need a whole lot of booking to give you an anticipation of what that match is. And I think my worry was the story was going to detract from some of that. And I think they're doing an okay job of not doing that, right? They're not necessarily detracting from, hey, this match is going to be cool.
Yeah, I just think give us a shock value. Oh my God, now I really want to kill Tony Storm because she cost me my first pinfall in the last year, right? Because this is all, I just want a championship. Well, I love this championship and you can't have it. Okay, that's fine. And I'm not saying
Mercedes
that's bad.
Moné finds a way to uncomfortably murder Mina.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine too. My biggest issue with Mercedes, and it's not anything personal this time around, even though personally I don't think she's that great of a person, but that's just me. We're not talking about that. We're talking about only what we see on TV. My issue with Mercedes Monet is she's boring. She's boring. I find her still playing the same tracks from 2015, right? Just like
Yeah.
Tacos and Tequila. Some of those tracks that Trina played or Nelly played were like, nah, we didn't want to hear that one again, right? And Mercedes is like, hey, remember when I was a heel and I did this weird laugh out of the blue? Want to hear it again?
Yeah. Yeah, Pretty
No.
Ricky at 40 was still doing the lap dances on
Yeah,
stage,
exactly.
and it was like,
No, don't want that
maybe
anymore.
we don't, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe we
yeah.
don't.
Oh, and Too Short was there too. Fucking Too Short. Yeah.
Too Short was fun. Too
Yeah,
Short
well,
was
Too
good.
Short brought out that one girl who was like, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a free gynecology appointment and just let you all see every fucking thing. And I was like, no, no, that was not fun. um, okay, let's get back into Dynamite. So after
We also saw
Mercedes,
that at GCW. It's like
mm-hmm,
both nights you got to just
mm-hmm,
see,
yeah,
like, oh,
yeah, same
I
build
can,
on
I
both
can,
ladies.
I can see what's wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. On Dynamite, the next thing that we see after Mercedes stands over Tony Storm is the Young Bucks are like, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're the EVPs, and we got a match later tonight. It's a tag team match, and Ospreay and Swerve are going to be in it. But do we really want to wait around that long? No. So let's do it now. And you see Ospreay kind of misses cue. Swerve did what I thought was a very silly thing to, and I get it. We had to have them both look like they were running late to the ring, right? But Swerve walks out putting a shirt on to only get to the ring to then take it
Take
off.
it off.
Don't bring the shirt, bud. You know,
Yeah.
don't bring the shirt. And so yeah, they're taking on who are they taking on here? Oh,
Yeah.
it's not Swerve. It's Blake Christensen and Big Shotty Johnson, right?
Yeah. Lee
Um,
Johnson.
or Lee Johnson. Yeah, Big Shotty,
Yeah. Big
whatever.
Shotty Lee Johnson. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. And good match. Christensen is good. I like him. Lee Johnson is fine. Swerve and Osprey, they're gonna play that music that gets the people
Mm-hmm.
up and going. What'd you think?
Fine. Again, yeah, the match was fine, right? Like Lee Johnson, Blake Christensen, I think we would categorize in is like not a whole lot of personality, but they can put on a match, right? And then you
Blake
put Swerve and
Christensen's
Osprey in there.
Yeah, Blake Christian feels like he can. It feels like they haven't let him go because he was in GCW, and that's where I saw him a couple
Yeah,
times.
yeah. I would say too, like he's also a young kid, right? Like not that I
Mm-hmm.
would expect a whole lot yet, right? Like still
Right.
figuring his way out and stuff. And same with Lee Johnson. But yeah, I this was a setup for what was to come after the win here.
Yep. So Swerve and Osprey get the win, and then they get the Young Bucks out, and they're going back and forth. And Swerve goes, "Hey, All In, why don't me and Osprey beat up you two?" And then
Yeah.
Osprey is like, "Hey, also put up your EVP titles."
Yeah.
And then Swerve said, "Oh, by the way, you know how the coolest way to end this segment would be if I stomped your fucking head in the ground and whop, and then he hits
Except
them.
he
We
didn't
get a
hit
pull apart.
them. He didn't hit
Yeah,
them. He hit all the guards and
yeah,
everybody else. Yeah.
yeah.
Which is fine too. All right. I don't know that as like a general concept, I would be in the business of regularly putting official company titles on the line in matches for wrestlers to win, right? I'll say that as a general rule. Could it be fun for some brief period that Swerve and Osprey get the EVP title to the ire of the EVPs? Yes, but I would want to find a way for them to get it back in some short order.
Well, do you want to know my idea?
Okay.
So I think they should do it. So one thing that I feel like they didn't actually say is after the break, the EVPs were like, "You dumbass, do you realize what you did?" But they didn't say like, "You're on." I didn't feel like they outright said, "We accept."
True, they didn't.
They just said, "Hey, you dumbasses," right?
Because when they first said it, they were preposterous. They were like,
Right.
are you kidding me?
Yeah. So I would do the match as advertised, right? I would have Osprey and Swerve win the EVP,
Come EVPs. All right.
right? And then here's the thing. Then you could have fun with like Matt and Nick are brothers in real life and have always been at the hip for each other. So there's no real like drama amongst the EVPs because it's brothers, right? You say Osprey and Swerve start having a pissing competition and they start swinging around this EVP power that they have to fuck with the other guy. Now we got some fun, right? Because you're doing a pseudo general manager thing, but with active wrestlers. And then you could have them, you know, they flame out. Good guys, EVPs come back and be like, hey, we lost our way at the end, but we think we deserve another shot. And then they can win it back or be given the titles back, and then we're back on track. But I think for a short time where you quickly have the, hey, isn't it cool that we're now the new EVPs? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, what I want to do is this. And the other guy's like, no,
No,
no, that's
yeah.
not
No,
what you
bruv.
do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like, okay, okay, yeah, you're right. And then the other guy's
Yeah,
like,
because what if
what you
Swerve was
do?
like, Nana gets a TNT title shot? And he'd be like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, what? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
No.
Osprey's like, hey, we're gonna fly in more international wrestlers because I know that they're really
Or
good out
here's
there in
one.
London.
His
You know what I
wife's
mean?
coming in now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So he could be like, oh, well, clearly she's going to jump to the front of the line. Swerve could be like, hey, man. Hey, dog.
Right. Yeah.
Hey,
exactly.
hey.
So I
It's
would
a
do
little
that.
weird, man.
And then kind of pseudo what they're doing with Christian and Nick Wayne, where like Christian is being a dickhead to Nick Wayne, but you can't really say it, right? Everything he's actually done has been on the up and up, right? Do it that way and then have them, you know what I mean?
We have a new participant in the chat here of The Hard Way with Brett Michelle, which, by the way, check out The Hard Way with Brett Michelle. It says, okay, but hear me out. Harley Cameron for EVP instead.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe, again, if you kind of went with my thought process, when they flame out, hey, we need someone here who has their head on straight. And then it's Harley Graham.
Yeah.
No, Harley Graham nominates Harley Cameron. I am Harley Graham.
I second this nomination. And then the puppet. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that would be fun. Is if you have them do the thing because it would be original for
All right, here's what it is.
AEW.
So chaos has erupted, right? With all this EVP back and forth, who's a blah blah blah. We get a sit down. Who Tony Khan says he doesn't want to do this, right? He doesn't want to be on camera, but he's going to sit down. And Renee's interviewing him. He's like, I realized it was time to take control back, and we needed some seriousness. We need somebody with a good head on their shoulders. We need somebody who will take things, with professionalism. And like I said, the seriousness that this deserves. So I give you our new EVP, Harley Cameron. And just like you just know it's over from the very beginning, right? She's going to come in with a dance routine. Like it's just great.
Yeah, she'll do one-woman concerts to start off Collision,
Yeah,
I got a new single.
Make it terrible. Yeah,
damn it. Yeah, that would be great. Okay, so one thing with the EVPs that kind of was interesting here, I thought, was they talk about how Swerve and Osprey are idiots, but then we've got our guy Okada walking up, and he's like, "Hey," and they're like, "Hey," and Okada's like, "Got some friends," and this is where I felt like Excalibur did a really good job of, because then they did this whole thing where the EVPs and Roppongi Vice, Takeshita actually really didn't do much. He kind of just stood there until the end, and then him and Okada had to like, hey, fuck you kind of thing.
He said this is only temporary.
Yeah. And then, but with the EVPs and Roppongi Vice, they were like, it's weird that we're to like on the same page here, but let's all agree the main thing to do here is get Okada that unified championship. Now again,
Can
I
we
didn't watch.
all can we all Viking experience this RPG Vice name and just only call them Roppongi Vice until they give up the RPG thing and just go back to Roppongi?
Yeah, so or just RPG. Either be RPG, but don't be
Yeah.
RPG Vice or
Yeah,
yeah, it's
exactly.
yeah. Um but yeah, with the kind of them doing that, I didn't watch New Japan, so like I didn't know they fucking disliked each other. Could I could have had 100 guesses. I probably would have got there eventually, but I was like, I don't know. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't like each other, right? But then
But I like that. I
Excalibur
like
was
that stare down and that,
mhm.
it's
Yeah.
good.
Now
It's
with
good stuff.
Takeshita and Okada, they have told us on AEW television, hey, these
Yeah.
two guys both think that they're the
Yeah.
man. So
But I
I
like too
like that.
that. So Takeshita does. He was like, this is only temporary, and Okada was just like, yeah, all right, like
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah. I do not care. Yeah.
nerd.
Sure. Sure, pal. Yeah. But Trent Beretta is awesome. Let me say that on the
Yeah.
front end. Trent Beretta, kind of like how Miz is a bad good guy. Trent Beretta is a bad guy. He does the you better no
I'm
man.
angry.
Watch this one, guys. I'm gonna get him. No, that is no.
Yeah.
And look, Trent Beretta looks cool, right? Like, I mean, he looks the part. I'm not saying that, but yeah, he's a better babyface. I like him better as babyface. But he
I
takes
agree.
on the returning Kota Ibushi, and this is where, again, not a New Japan fan per se, so people are gonna have to explain this to me. All I saw was, wow, good to see Ibushi got something out of this match. And I was like, I thought it was a fine match. They're acting as if it was like the fucking Juggalo champion out there, you know, clicking both knees together and trying to stand up on their own, like
That guy.
that's the worst guy.
I told you I had the first experience at a wrestling show where I did not want the action coming near me, and we
Yeah.
actually backed away when this guy came
Mm-hmm.
over bleeding. We were like, no, no, no,
Nope.
nope,
Nope.
no,
Yeah.
no. You stay
Yeah.
over there, sir.
Yeah.
Stay
I'd
on
rather
the ring
watch.
apron. Hold on to that rope. You stay there.
Yeah. I'd rather watch the Ultimate Warrior in current form more than that guy wrestle. Like, he was horrible.
I mean, you know,
I just came in my head.
not even reanimated, just
Yeah,
in
that's
current
right.
form.
Yeah. Dig
Throw
that
him in the ring.
motherfucker out and throw him in there. He'll be tag partners with Willie Mack.
I did. Willie Mack appreciated that. I told him he was doing a good job. Remember
Yeah, he's
that?
like, thanks. Yeah, he was like,
I
thanks.
was
Yeah,
like, you're doing a good job, Willie. And he was like, oh, thanks, man.
yeah, he was great. Okay, so back to the match though. Ibushi wins, which obviously, he was definitely going to do that. And then it was announced, kind of shotgun style, that next week, AEW Dynamite 300, we're getting Ibushi Okada. So we're again AEW loyalists, but that's really about it. With that being said, what do you think we're gonna get out of it? Because again, being told this is a big time rivalry, big time match. What's your expectations? I guess I should say.
I mean, I guess I'm just expecting that, right? That I think the match is going to go good. And as long as the crowd is into it, it will be an enjoyable thing. But I don't have, right, the background to be like, oh man, another chapter in this storied thing. I just don't know what it is. So, but I'm sure it'll be fine. It is of note though. I did pick up that, like, yeah, we thought both of these guys, Ibushi and Beretta, were never going to wrestle again. It seemed like everybody was saying for a while. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And again, I thought Ibushi did fine.
Mm-hmm.
I maybe it's one of those things where it was like in 2014, this guy had the athleticism of Kofi Kingston, and now he's wrestling like Keith Lee, right? I don't know, but it was fine to me. You know what I mean? So we'll see. But yeah, that's next week, Dynamite 300. And also, the next night, I believe it's going to be another Thursday night. It's Collision 100,
Yeah.
which, man, fuck CM Punk. Anyhow, the whole show was just created for him. You know,
Yeah.
like, yeah, what a jerk. And then he just leaves because he's an infant. Hey, go hug kids when you fucking walk by him there, CM Punk, you
He
jerk
straight
off.
up was like, speaking of don't touch me, right? He
Yeah.
was,
Well, and he didn't even like, hey, sorry. He didn't, he just was like, yep. And
yeah, he
fucking
was
dude.
basically like, you got to stay over there, kid.
Yeah, what a dick. Anyhow, someone who's not a dick but plays one on TV, John Moxley was next.
Mm,
And John Moxley was like, hey, cowboy, I'm fucking tired of this shit. You know,
this was good.
deal with your bullshit elsewhere. You got to know when you're coming for this, if you're going to be the guy that they say you are, we're about that action. I loved it, except for I feel AEW has always done a great job of acknowledging their history. And they kind of mentioned it towards the end when we get to the final scenes of Dynamite. But it feels as if Moxley's talking about Hangman as if he didn't go through a Texas death match with Hangman.
With him already.
You know what I mean? So he's talking
Yeah.
about how he doesn't have it in him. It's like, hey, guy, he hung you. He literally was
Yeah.
the Hangman to you. So, like,
Yeah.
huh?
I still think they should have taken the angle. We're running out of time to pull this off now. Of, you know, Moxley wanted Hangman to pull this off more than anybody else, right? Like,
Yeah.
no, I've been waiting. I
Right.
need I need the prophet, right? I need the one to break through. I'm so very tired, right? Like of having to do this. I need somebody to end this.
Yeah, and who was it? We had a quick conversation today on the secret Discord channel, and it was with an individual, the
Shh,
Black
kayfabe,
Nerd.
kayfabe.
Yeah, that's what I said. The secret.
Secret,
It's a secret.
yes, yeah, oh yeah,
That's a
that's right.
secret. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Black Nerd.
He
I
says
wanted
live to the world.
yeah, I wanted to get your feedback on this. So he
Yeah.
feels like Hangman should be like
By the way,
storyline
this
wise.
is the man's screen name. This is not just Tom's.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't being. Yeah.
He's like the Black Nerd said.
that Black
I want
Nerd
people
over
to be
there. Yeah, no.
aware.
Yes.
Self-named, right?
Good call.
Yes.
Good call.
All right.
But he thinks from a storyline perspective that Hangman totally makes sense that he was always going to be the one. I disagree. Anyone who's listened long enough to the last couple episodes, especially, I've always felt it was going to be Darby Allin. Now that we're kind of getting up to this moment, do you feel like it should, like, I feel like it should be Hangman because Hangman fucking rules, but like from a story perspective, do you think it should be Hangman?
So the way you've always described the Darby Allin being the guy makes sense and all of that, but I just feel like knowing how Tony Khan approaches the Hangman as like he's one of the guys here, right? Then I feel like if we're doing that and we're needing to continue to sink that in, then it's got to be Hangman here. If it's not Hangman, it's got to be Swerve. Right?
Well, I think it has to be Hangman, but not necessarily because of a story. I think if we got any more Death Riders rule AEW kind of stuff, we'd just be exhausted. Like we're reaching our breaking point regardless. Even if this match was Will Ospreay versus Moxley, I'd be like, please God, make it be Ospreay, right?
Yeah.
But I still
we've
think
run out of Death Rider stuff.
of the way to say it and all this stuff, right? Now, we'll talk about Statlander. That could be something fun, but that's on a minor level. But yeah, I still feel like if Darby's going to break through from just fun guy who wins crazy matches and bleeds, he has to beat basically the final boss version of him. Well, because also if you really think about it too, well, and I definitely don't think he's going to do that now, but you also got to think the way Moxley started this all off too was he basically told Darby, give me your title shot. Because remember, Darby had that title shot and Moxley was like, just give it to me. And he's like, well, okay, then, you know? And so like, you got to pay that off, right? And then again, he threw him down the stairs. And so to be the final boss version of yourself, you got to beat the final boss version of yourself, which is Moxley. You were the one who fucking couldn't defend this. If he would have, again, let's say it's all real and we're in kayfabe. If he just defends his own title shot from Moxley, we don't get any of this, right? If he just wins that match, Moxley never gets the title shot, never gets to, So like, it's really Darby's fault.
So do we get MJF cost Hangman, and then in the chaos, Darby Allin comes out and is like, Sting points the baseball bat.
Now, if you wanted to really shotgun it, idea I had is Darby wins the Casino Battle Royal. MJF does cost Hangman at the pay-per-view. We get fucking livid. Hey, the next week on Dynamite, Darby's about that action. He's going to cash in. Darby beats Moxley on Dynamite to become your champion. Right there. Like, that would be another way to do it. Yeah. But it's a good conversation. And to the screen name, The Black Nerd, if you do want to yell, I love to hear yelling and I love to yell back. Would love to talk about any of those topics with you.
Yeah, well, and for anybody, you can hit us up. You can send us an email to aewrapup@gmail.com. You can type it out. You can audio call. You can video, send it to us. We'll play it here. We'll respond. We'll share you with everybody else, right?
There it is. You with everyone else. And don't you love that?
That's aewrapup@gmail.com.
Yes. Yeah. Jack Caglione. It's not that. It's Jack or it's J.A. Caglione. Which, man, he made another sick catch today. We suck, though, right now. Dude, we haven't won a home game in the month of June. The fucking Savannah Bananas have won as many games at Kauffman as the fucking Royals have. And guess who comes to town tomorrow? The defending World Series champion, Los Angeles Dodgers, with Shohei and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and Max Muncy. Teoscar Hernandez.
With Tom Selleck, Mr. Baseball.
Love Mr. Baseball.
Last season, I led this club in ninth inning doubles in the month of August.
Well, trust me, baseball is always going to be that way. I am going Saturday, and I get to finally see, because I've never seen it in person, I get to see Shohei pitch. I've seen Shohei hit a homer in Kauffman last time I saw him, but now I get to see him pitch, so I'm very excited about that. Nice. Hopefully he doesn't throw a perfect game. Anyhow, back to Dynamite. Next
hopefully
up,
I watch him pitch really shitty.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Get one cool strikeout and then give up a homer every at bat after that.
We got any Trumpers on the team? Strike that guy out, and then
Kyle Isbell, get the fucking out of here. I haven't forgot, you assholes, of who you were that didn't get vaccinated and fucking cost us 10 players going up to Toronto. It wasn't Vinny. It wasn't Bobby. It wasn't Miguel Garcia. I remember who it was. Some of these guys aren't even in the league anymore, but I remember you dickheads. Isbell, you're one of them. All right. And the next segment I thought was fun. Ricochet pulls a fast one on AR Fox. I thought this was really fun. Yeah. Where like he does a sneak handshake. He's like, hey man, remember. Yeah.
He's like, we're going to team up. And he's like, us team up. And then, and he's like, man never goes back on his word, right? Man never goes back on his
as he like backs up to he's like,
integrity.
Yeah. I thought that was fun. And so that leads us right into the team of AR Fox and Ricochet taking on, now they have a team name, Jet Speed. What do you think of Jet Speed? What do you think of the name, Jet Speed?
Fine. We got a promo from them too, right? We got
we'll get to that in a second.
Bailey.
But
Jet Speed, fine name for a tag team.
For who they are too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Jet,
right.
Speedball.
It feels very WWE pairing-ish though. I'll give it that.
And this is I am not being mean to Mike Bailey in the slightest. This is not a slight on cool. Mike Bailey. He is not Kevin Knight cool. It's like Taylor Swift dating Travis Kelce. Taylor Swift is really fucking fine. Yeah. She's not as cool as Travis fucking Kelce.
Yeah, we've said this is cool is a subjective word, right?
But we know what it is.
People that like Dungeons and Dragons be like, oh, that's cool. And you'd be like, yeah. But then like when Roman Reigns walks into that room, everybody understands, oh, that guy's the cool guy in the room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And as you're saying, Mike Bailey might be a cool guy. People might think Mike Bailey is cool, but he is not Kevin Knight cool. And one wins here, right? Like one is more
Well,
noticeable, right? Like I don't.
and maybe it's even the presentation because, as I mentioned with Trent Beretta is a cool baby face. When Trent Beretta is just, you know, uh, best friends, Trent Beretta, that's cool. Like that's a cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
He walks into the room and that's cool. As a bad guy, though, it's like that guy ain't fucking
Yeah,
cool.
he
That ain't,
loses his swagger and charisma.
yeah, it's just, nope, nope, nope. So that's what I'm saying. It's not like you have to come out to a West Side Gun song or anything like that. I'm just saying it's who I think it was the fucking government defined porn as you know it when you see it, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
cool is the same thing. You know it when you see it. Because again,
Yeah.
there are fucking really cool people that are into Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think it's
Mm-hmm.
everyone, but and so I'm not saying it's all exclusive. Like if you like this, then you're obviously not that. I'm not saying that at all. It's just you know it when you see it. And so far, Speedball, not it.
Don't see it. Yeah.
Don't see
Yeah.
it. But they take on AR Fox and Ricochet, and we get a good old match. And by the end of it, Ricochet says, "Well, fuck this." At one point, I don't know if you caught this. AR Fox is just getting his ass kicked, and Ricochet is standing like by the turnbuckle, and he's like, "He's doing fine. Like everything, he's
Mm-hmm.
okay. All right, he's
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
great." And
Yeah.
AR Fox is like, "Hey, man," you know.
Yeah.
So yes, Jet Speed gets the victory. Now let's put a pin in that for a quick second because tonight on Collision, Ricochet and AR Fox have a bit of a meetup, and AR Fox is like, "Hey, bitch, what the hell happened last night?" And Ricochet's like, "The fuck you talking about?" And then coming out from the depths of hell, gates of agony, boom, and I don't know if you caught this part. Seemed like Ricochet was like not asking for that.
Yeah. He didn't set that up.
Yeah, and he was like,
Right.
"Well, let's talk." So, what'd you think of
You
that?
called this last week, didn't you?
I did.
So they're listening.
Hey, oh, I'm Stephen A. Smith. I need to be vindicated on all my
Well,
predictions.
but once again, I would like to point out that somebody, Cutie, is watching and
Oh,
taking
yeah.
these ideas.
Hey, brother, as long as I'm entertained by it, it'd be cool if you paid me, but,
Theo in the chat here, which, by the way, join the chat. Thursday nights live when we're doing the show. Join us. YouTube chat. Find the links. AllEliteWrapup.com. Theo P says, Jet Speed sounds like a tag team composing of Evan Bourne and Ricochet, which, I mean, it not too far away.
Well, you know what it kind of made me think of? The name Jet Speed is the Outrunners should be pissed because they're the Bruce Lees of jet skis. And so, like,
That's
you're
right.
getting close to jet speed, jet skis. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
brother, watch
In fact,
yourself. You know
Jet
what I mean?
Speed sounds like a name for a jet ski.
That's what I'm
A jet
saying.
ski
So,
brand, right?
yeah, right.
It's a
So,
Jet Speed 2750.
yeah. And so, after Jet Speed gets the victory, as you mentioned, they do a promo here and they're like, hey, we want to take on the Hurt Syndicate at All In. Fuck those guys. Paraphrasing. Obviously, they didn't say that. And before they
Yep.
could even say really anything else, Hurt Syndicate attack them, throw them through tables. And then again, the optics still just don't look right to me. It's MVP laughing at because he isn't laughing. Hold on, let me try to compose my thoughts here for a second. He's not laughing at a Christian Cage and Adam Copeland, right? He's laughing at AEW, air quotes, homegrown talent trying to make a name for themselves. Private Party, Jet Speed, Outrunners. And when you're just telling me, LOL, these fucking losers, you're telling me that your guys, AEW, kind of fucking suck. And so that's where MVP's tone or something needs to change because it's kind of off-putting to me so far. But they're like, if they can stand up, they get a title shot. So what did you think of the
Yeah.
beatdown?
Beat down, good. Because the hurt business needs to maintain hurting people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, still feel like we're in this weird area of them trying to figure out what the point was of the MJF thing.
Well, yeah, especially because now, as they say, Jet Speed can have the shot if they can walk again, which obviously they will. We get MJF, and he
We
says,
hope.
"Hey, right, yeah." MJF goes entering into the casino gauntlet match, which was a curveball to me because I'm assuming MJF isn't cheap, and to put him in a match with other people kind of feels like you're losing your money on that one. But he's in the casino gauntlet
I
now.
mean, unless he's winning this thing or you're setting up a big deal from him not.
The only thought I had is Mystico costs him the match because Mystico's mascot taken away.
He
You can't
chases
just fucking,
Mystico down to Mexico.
yeah, something like that. But like in the gauntlet match, MJF has everything ready for him to win, and then Mystico cost him that opportunity. Because you can't just have Mystico, especially now that I saw with my eyes how big of a star Mystico is, to just have his mask taken and be like, lol, what's next?
Next
Like, that
time
don't
you
make
come
sense.
around here, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make
Yeah.
any fucking sense. But what we get is he says he's in the casino gauntlet match, and then Mark Briscoe comes out and he interrupts. We get I don't know how I don't enjoy. Well, I shouldn't say I don't enjoy. I don't find it's creative to make fun of things that people have no choice in. So whether it's right or wrong, whatever. But Mark Briscoe is like, you got a small dick.
Right.
As if we're fucking signing up for all these things, right? Like
Yeah, we're
someone
body
who's,
shaming.
but like, you're not even, it'd be, not to say you should do this either, but like, it'd be one thing to body shame a fat person. They can lose weight, but like, to body shame a 5'1" person, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? They
right.
can't grow. Like they can't get taller. So it's like I've never found that stuff to be hurtful. Like whenever obviously everyone got made fun of in high school. I mean, I really didn't because I'd fucking
Well,
beat your ass. But when I did, and they were like, "You've got small feet" or whatever it was, I just like I didn't sign that. I didn't write down on the piece of paper I want the
yeah.
shoe size or whatever. Like, fuck you think,
Well,
you
and
know?
like the the joke he said, right? Yeah, it's I don't know, kosher
Kosher
pickle or whatever.
pickle, yeah, yeah.
And, that would set MJF off so much. I get like once the crowd started chanting it, you get a little bit of a complex, like motherfucker,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Like now I got to beat your ass. So I mean, which is kind of the angle they eventually got to, right? Where MVP's like, dude, calm down, right?
Yeah.
Like let it be, right? I think
Mhm.
yeah, I think we could have tweaked that a little bit to get there better, but you know,
Well, and even then, it kind of undercuts Mark Briscoe because MJF's wife goes on social media and is like, "It's not small,"
I
and it's
do
just
like
like,
how they set that up though. Was Mark Briscoe come out and he's like, by the way, right? He was like, they told me back there that you're fucking talking too long again, and so I got to come out here and get you out of the way so I can get to
yes,
business. Please get the fuck out of here.
yes, that part was great, and even the kind of bait
It's
and
kind of like
switch
when they
where he's
sent
like,
Kane out to on that Hall of Fame speech. Who did they send that out to?
Mr. T.
Yeah, and there he was like,
Yeah, hey man, come on,
yeah,
your mom is fine, but like, let's
yeah.
get it going. Yeah,
So yeah, Mark
um,
Briscoe's out here like, hey man, let's beat it.
yeah. Well, and I liked how Mark Briscoe did. I mean, again, the joke I didn't think was great, but I did
Mm.
like the, hey, man, I remember you've told us like you used to get picked on, and I really
Mm-hmm.
have empathy. Because he even said the word of the day was empathy. And you even saw MJF go, like, what?
What the
And
fuck is
then,
that? Yeah. Mm.
yeah, haha, got you, bitch. And so, as being reported on social media, apparently these two are going to have a feud, which still doesn't make any sense for Mystico. What the fuck? Just suck it, Mystico. Walk around with no mask. That's your thing. But
Shouldn't have hurt your finger that one time. I don't
yeah, I
know.
guess not. Yeah. But
We would
next
have
up,
taken
we
you
get.
seriously, but now.
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck you, buddy. Yeah. But
By the
next
way,
up,
I
we
saw a
get.
video and I watched it on YouTube. Cultaholic put out one, the real story of Global Force Wrestling, and they talk about the
Oh,
gold. They talk about
I
all of it.
gotta
It's
want.
great.
I want.
It's great.
I need to watch
Alberto
that.
Del Rio reminded me because he
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
one of their fucking champs and
Well, so was
all this other
Cody.
stuff. Yeah.
adding to his long lineage of world
They actually
championships.
changed it. It was Global Force Wrestling Impact for a while. Like they completely got rid of all of the name for a while. It was like GFW literally took over all of that.
Ah, what a fucking weird time in wrestling.
I
Jeff
watched
Jarrett
like it
sucks.
was 20 minutes of that, and I was like, why am I watching this?
Well, that actually brings up a good point. Did you direct message on LinkedIn
Ooh,
the
I
video
should.
to Jeff
Jeff,
Jarrett?
did you see this? It's because we're LinkedIn connections now. We're connected on LinkedIn, Jeff Jarrett and I.
I love that so much.
Professional network, Tom. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't.
No. Oh my God, I love it. I love it so much. Oh man, that makes me happy
Next is
every day.
MySpace.
Yeah. Yeah, with old Tom. God, I used to hate that. Hey, Tom, were you from MySpace? Shut the fuck up. Hated that bullshit. But I even told my wife, I was like, hey, Tim's LinkedIn connected with Jeff Jarrett. She goes, why?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Don't know. Tim doesn't know either.
That was great. That was great. All right, so we
You never
have
know, man. You never know when you need a good connection, Tom.
That is true. That is true. But we get some in-ring action next. It's a four-way match for the number one spot because it's a little bit different than your typical battle royal. The number one spot in the men's casino gauntlet match at AEW All In Texas. It's Mark Briscoe, Bandito, Roderick Strong, and Takeshita. Good match.
Yep.
And son of a bitch, Mark Briscoe won.
Yeah. Marky B.
Tell you what, have the mighty just fallen on their face? Because Takeshita at one time beat Kenny Omega twice in 1 month,
And now Mark Briscoe's getting the better of him in a.
and Roderick Strong and Bandito. Like, I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, when you join the Don Callis family, sometimes good things don't happen to you.
Yeah, sometimes it backfires. It's like being a Paul Heyman guy.
We could get there with that. Takeshi could be like, "Hey, wait a minute."
Mm-hmm.
They could a highlight package of like when they do Dynamite 300 and whatever. They could show some highlights of Takeshita doing big things, and he could be like,
Why is that happening? I mean,
looking around as he's like in the back of the Don Callis family, and he's like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, because he could easily just say, "Hey, you said I was the alpha. The alpha means number one. So get this proto
This fucking
dork out of here and
Twink and Pink here and get him the fuck out of here."
Yeah, and get Okada, who I definitely hate, out of here. And then the walking weaponizer
What's
or whatever.
Hechicero doing here, God?
Yeah, what are all these guys doing here? You can keep Lance Archer, but all these other fucking guys, what the hell?
The
That would be
walking
funny.
domestic abuser or whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah,
whatever he is.
that would be funny if he was like, fuck this guy, fuck this guy, fuck this guy. Lance, you're cool. Fuck that guy and fuck that guy.
That guy cut a promo too, and we'll get there. But
Yeah, so let's actually talk about that. So Mark Briscoe wins. Awesome. He's going to be in your number one spot for the men's casino gauntlet match at AEW All In Texas. Then after that, we go backstage. Adam Cole says, open challenge, LOL. It's just with the Don Callis family.
yeah, restricted open challenge.
Again, man, Adam, what has happened? Did Britt Baker take all your coolness?
Out of 8 billion people in the planet, open challenge to the 7 members of the Don Callis family.
Right there, yeah.
Who happened to be in Ohio tonight.
Yeah.
Or wherever the hell they were, right?
Seattle. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But like, honestly, is he depressed after they've acknowledged it on TV, after the breakup of him and Britt Baker? Has he just like lost his fastball? Because
she sucked all the cool out of him like a succubus.
I guess, but like, by the way, she's going to be there this weekend. She's filling in for Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy had surgery, so he's not going to be able to make it. So she's filling in. Might ask her, like, hey, fuck you do to Adam Cole?
Did you
He's
take
cool.
all the cool from Adam Cole?
Yeah. She's like, yeah, maybe. I drilled it out with his last dentist appointment. Yeah. So yeah, Adam Cole says open challenge, but it's only Don Callis family.
What happened
and
there?
then,
Didn't she fuck Christian or something? What happened there? I don't know. No, I'm just making shit.
I was like, oh, really?
I don't know.
Yeah,
We don't
first
fact
I heard
check
him.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't fact check here. Yeah, allegedly though, just in case.
Yeah,
Um,
allegedly. It was all alleged.
yeah, yeah. So then we fast forward to tonight on Collision, and the guy who answered the open challenge for only the Don Callis family was Josh Alexander. As you mentioned, cut a promo.
Yep.
He said words. Uh,
he
he did say words, you know.
did say
Um,
words.
and then they had a match, and they wrestled.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. Here's where it gets kind of bad for guys like Josh Alexander and Adam Cole is they don't suck, not even remotely.
Right.
But their character, intrigue, and all of that stuff isn't putting them, especially not Adam Cole anymore, at that top level. So, like, if you're lukewarm, or if, for me, if I watch you and I'm indifferent, that's worse than being bad. Like, Great Khali sucked, but I'd watch it to be like, what the fuck is this goofball gonna do? Right? Like,
Yeah.
he
How's this
could,
guy who doesn't bend at the knees, but yet his hips are taller than me? How's
yeah,
he gonna
exactly.
wrestle?
Yeah. Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil could either easily break his neck any fucking match possible. So I'm gonna watch, but he was
Titus O'Neil.
bad.
We watched 10 years of Titus O'Neil's career, and the only thing I will forever remember is him sliding under that fucking ring in Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
Or
Whoop.
wherever the fuck they were. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was the greatest Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The greatest of all time. Yeah, whatever it was. Yeah. All right. So then after that from Collision, we'll jump back to Dynamite. On Dynamite, right after the promo from Adam Cole, we go into another four-way match for the number one spot in the first ever women's casino gauntlet match at AEW All In. We have Willow Nightingale, the best. Athena with Billy Starks, who we saw at GCW. She beat John Grisham and Simon Gotch. That was a match.
That's true.
It was fine.
Weird.
It was just
that was weird.
Weird vibes. Yeah, it was just something was off. Anyhow, so Athena, Chris Statlander, and Thunder Rosa. That's a heavy hitter lineup, right?
Yes.
Willow,
Yep.
Athena, Statlander,
They were bringing some
Thunder
thunder.
Rosa. Yeah, they all brought it. But it ends with Marina Shafir says, "Ooh, I'm going to be spooky and mean, and I'm going to distract Willow." And Willow said, "You dumb, stupid looking bitch, get in here." And the nerd that everyone hates, he jumps in there and fucking tries to get the hair out of his face and was like, "I'm going to beat you up now." And Willow says, "Bounce this, bitch. Monty Brown and this motherfucker. See ya." And then, but I ain't gonna sniff the ropes. How about that, bitch? And so Yuta goes flying. That though allows Statlander to capitalize. She picks up the victory. She's gonna be your number one spot in the women's casino gauntlet match. But then I knew what happened there. And Marina and Yuta are like, "Oh, we know what we did too." What do you make of that?
So, because I feel like, all right, so Moxley we think is not going to maintain the championship here. That does not necessarily mean the Death Riders are done, right? So we could still tell the tale of Chris Statlander is now in the Death Riders. But I kind of feel like we're almost setting up the reuniting of Chris Statlander and Willow more than we're doing that, right? But what's is it a tag team match against Marina and Yuta? Because that ain't right, is it? So I don't know what we do there.
I don't think it'll be that. I feel no knowledge of anything. I feel that you may do Marina Statlander, make them women's tag team champs. Then Marina and the Death Riders bully Statlander. That's then when Willow comes in and was like, "Hey, I don't want to see you go through this again because you went through it with Big Stoke. not going to watch it again. Let me help. And then we get a whole story out of that, right? Now it's role reversal where Willow's like, I do want to be your friend. And Statlander's like, too late now, bitch, and we go back and forth on that. So,
Mm-hmm.
but the women's tag team, because if you have them, Marina and Statlander, you do Ty
Bane and
Mello, Ty Mello and
Ty
Anna
J.
Jay.
Yep.
Yep. You do Bane and Penelope
Ford.
Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Then you do again Harley Cameron and just her puppet. That'd be fine.
Yep. Yeah.
Them. Then you could also do. Um, then you could do Willow and somebody, right? So Willow, Athena and Billy Starks. That's another one.
Mm-hmm.
So you got some options. You know what I mean? So that's where I think. That's just what I'm guess. That's where I think we're gonna go with that. But
Yeah.
who knows? Yeah, you could do Willow and Thunder Rosa, right? As a
Or
tag
maybe
team.
this is how we set up Willow and Statlander to be a tag team again. Is we go through this
Mm.
Statlander's like
But then who
journey
teams up with a
into.
Marina?
I don't know if it's not. It's just Willow's being fucked with. Statlander is on their side. They start doing to her what they did to Wheeler,
Mm.
and Willow's like, hey, wait a minute,
Yeah,
come on, get out of the
right.
cult, and then they go be friends.
That would be cool.
They could
That
become the
would
new
be cool.
best friends, since the best friends can't be
Ooh.
the best friends, and you have the tie with Statlander, so just
Yeah.
they could
And you
anoint
got
them as the best friends.
Chuck comes out. You guys
Yeah,
are the true best friends. Yeah,
right.
that would be cool.
You're even more
Uh,
besters than we were.
hmm Yeah, because you guys fought each other and then got through that difference. Me and
Look,
me and Trent, we never fought.
yeah.
Then we did, and now we have hated
You
each
could
other
say,
ever
I know
since.
how we settle this. Every time we would fight, we would settle this over cookies and milk, and then Sue could show up bringing the cookies and milk, and then
Hell yeah.
everything's, you know?
That's the way to do it. I like that. I
Uh
like
huh.
that. Okay, so after Statlander, well, which one other
Tony,
note?
hire
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Tony.
One other note though that I did think was interesting is the Statlander acknowledging that she saw. It wasn't one of the things where like she was knocked out.
Yeah.
She just happens to
She knew
pin.
what happened.
She
Yeah.
knew exactly what happened.
Took
That was what I
advantage.
thought
Said,
was
all
interesting.
right,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
see what happened
That's what
here.
I thought was cool. Next up, we'll just kind of combine this into one. It's the FTR and Outrunners. So FTR responds on Dynamite. Then we kick off tonight's Collision with, some fun, right? Nothing set the world on fire as far as like one-liners or anything like that.
No, but I thought
But
this was really good. Dax
mhm,
really did real good here on just being an asshole to these guys, right? With his
yeah,
like, what, you left us? Like he's like all the tanning, all the all the gym
hmm
advice, right? Like all that was good stuff, real good.
yeah. I said this on our Blue Sky, and I'll just bring it up again. Um, I said that the team time forgot the Outrunners bring in that quote, "We smoke a cigarette
Yeah,
inside a McDonald's" vibe.
yeah.
And don't
He did
they?
get into that '80s promo where he's like, "These fans will never leave us." Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh.
And the Zuba pants and the
Yeah.
tanning and all
This
of
felt
that.
like an old school wrestling promo off though, right? Like
Yeah.
this is getting ready for the big event. This was good stuff. Yeah.
So do you think we do this? Oh no, I think we're gonna do this at Collision 100 is Outrunners
Mm-hmm.
FTR. I worry that the Outrunners will fall victim to the same thing that happens in our Dynamite main event, where we had Hangman versus Beast Mordos, but Beast Mordos and the Outrunners, coolest thing 6 months ago, and now just beat them.
Well, Outrunners feel to me like a quicker run of and a less hot run of the Acclaimed because the Outrunners aren't going to. I haven't seen them yet come up with the new phrase or the new color or the new, twist on the
They do.
gimmick. Right?
They do have great one-liners that I think they need to hit more. For example, when they did that promo for the University of Omaha basketball team, and he goes,
Yeah.
"If you're anything like me, or if you're anything like me, and I know I am,"
Yeah.
like saying stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I think that could be the next thing. Because again, 80s heels, 80s, 90s heels were also distinct. So if you just
Mm-hmm.
have them be the heel version of, and I'm making it up because top of mind, but like Iron Sheik, right? Not to say that
Hmm.
they're iron, like a hate America thing, but the over the top kind of
Yeah.
thing. You could get a run out of that too. So
Yep.
I still think there's a little bit of juice left, some meat on the bone, as you could say, um, with their run. But yeah, you need to win matches too. You know, you need to win
Yep.
matches. Look, I love them. Look what I'm wearing. Huh? Look what
Hmm.
I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, love them. But we do need to do something. Yeah, have them good, Tim. If you turned him heel and then, like I said, smoke a cigarette inside of McDonald's, if you then had them do things like, oh, you can't do this anymore? What is this? And it's like, this isn't the 90s anymore, man. Like, oh, there's no
If they
smoking
just
section
start
in
saying like,
here.
"Oh,
Yeah.
everything's soft these days,"
Yeah.
right? And they just,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
call people snowflakes, right? Like get a
Right.
little
Yeah.
borderline, yeah.
Yeah, don't go too political, but just do the like, oh, tanning's bad. Oh, is that the thing now? Everyone says tanning's so bad, and then like,
Yeah.
you know,
Fill it up with regular, and they'll be like, "Sir, it's unleaded now." I'm like, God damn,
oh my god, yeah, oh
Jesus.
my god. Well, I gotta get a subscription to this shit too. I don't
No
like Max.
MSG on
Yeah.
their Chinese food, and they're like, "Oh damn,
Oh
here
yeah.
too."
Yeah. Yeah. We only watch things on cable. We don't do that cord
Why
cutting.
can't I find a hairspray with CFCs in
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing we cut is cut in line for title shots, and then
Hmm. Yeah,
do
they
this
try to go
shit.
get cigarettes at the which one doesn't do that anymore? CVS, right? Like they took all the
Yeah,
cigarettes out or something. They'll be
yeah,
like, "What the?"
dude, going to a CVS would be hilarious because they could be like, "Oh, the condoms are locked up. Oh, is that thing now? Is we lock the condoms up?"
Why would you lock the condoms up? That doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense.
Yes, that would be the best. Yes, that would be it right there. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it looks like next week FTR Outrunners at Collision 100, and then going back to Dynamite, we get in our main event Hangman Adam Page versus the Beast Mordos. Tony Khan, uh, you're one of my favorite people that makes television. Fuck you for this, brother. What the hell? What do you want me to do?
Yeah, I want both these guys to win.
Yeah, god damn it. Like, for all the times, and I know that they haven't done it a lot, but one of the times they could have done a schmaz finish was this. Death Riders could have just been like, fuck Hangman, he ain't winning tonight. And
Hmm.
then Beast Mortis doesn't have to take a pinfall
Yeah, he's just
loss.
like, "Hey, not my fight. I'm out of
Yeah,
here."
I will say, because it's acknowledged now, um, interesting that this is Beast Mordo's first main event after it's been announced that he's dating Mercedes Monet.
Uh huh. Yeah. Oh,
How that
yeah.
happened? Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa,
Oh.
you know?
Maybe
And
he used
look,
his new legal degree to
yeah,
be like, "Listen,
right.
pursuant to."
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I don't like Mercedes Monet. I think she stinks as a character. But if she could use her backstage influence to make the Beast Mordos cooler, then at least I wanted something. You know what I mean? Like if I have to
Hmm.
endure her peanut butter mouth promos, at least if Beast Mordos is winning, I'm happy. You know what I mean? He does a better promo than her.
Rawr.
Yeah. Timing's better. You know? Cadence is better. You know?
True.
Believability's better.
I remember his segment in AEW more than I remember any promo Mercedes Monet has ever given.
Yep. That's actually factual. I
Hmm.
mean,
No, that's
that's
why I
not a
said
joke.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. No.
that is that is not I mean, we like to say jokes here, but that one was not a joke. But yeah, Hangman gets the victory because he's the best. But then afterwards, lights go out. And then we have the EVPs grabbing
Hmm.
Hangman, and they do the old knee trigger headshot thing. And what'd you think of that part before we go any further? What'd you think of that? Because now we
That
finally
was,
kind of ripped the
yeah.
band-aid off. you know?
And good visual there. Like they can use that in video packages where he's like, "You son of a bitch, you
Yeah.
motherfuckers," right? And then
Yeah.
wham, the old deep V EVPs. Yeah, good.
Well, and one thing I forgot to mention is earlier in the night, the EVPs, because Swerve hit them, they said, Swerve, you got to get out of here. So security take out Swerve. So then when the Death Riders and the EVPs are beating up Hangman, the Ops and Will Ospreay comes out, but not Swerve, but that's because he wasn't there. So I still like that we're getting people to save Hangman, but we're not pulling the band-aid off with that as far as it's Swerve who finally helps him. None of that, right?
Right.
Um, I will say, would be cool to see the ops, right? Would be cool. Because what are they doing?
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't think they're lacking.
Oh man.
I know they wouldn't do that.
So I told Tim this, but for the audience, I told Tim this. I went into a very deep dive on the gangs in America, present day, like
Tom
2012.
hasn't slept in 4 days.
Oh man. Well, I had some nightmares. I had some nightmares
Yeah.
where I was like, fuck.
Well, you
'Cause
live in a spot where there's gunshots, and so
well, some of the videos were right where I live. Like I was like, oh, that's the quick trip I go to. What the fuck? Really?
I like to
Okay.
remind people that there was a very successful show in America for a while called SWAT, where they followed SWAT teams in what was 4 American cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of those was Kansas City.
Oh
That
yeah.
shit was intense.
And don't let those fucking people, don't let anyone in those SWAT teams. I remember seeing my direct supervisor do a ride along on a SWAT team in my neighborhood because there was a little crack house. And I was like, his nickname was Buzz. I was like, Buzz, what the fuck are you doing here? Oh,
Is that Jeff?
yeah, because like he was knocking on the door with them. And I was like, well, I expected that house to get broken into, but why is my boss with them? Yeah, Kansas City, we get wild.
Was he late too? Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand.
But yeah, the ops, which is again, the ops, feeling a little cold, right? Gave him the
Well, this
belts.
was just, yeah, and then just do this run in at the end of the show. You haven't been on all night.
Yeah. And
What an
and
easy
then
payday for the ops, right?
well, and then also on top of that, tonight we do Collision. Nah. Nah, nah,
No
nah, nah.
ops.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
no.
yeah, no match, no nothing.
Don't
So
even
yeah,
talk
that
about
was
him.
your I mean, they honestly did not.
Yeah.
But that was your Dynamite. So let's see what we missed with Collision. So Collision,
Well, you had the
as mentioned,
Kyle off.
well, we had the Outrunners FTR. We already mentioned that. Christian Cage and Nick Wayne versus Big Bill and
Oh,
Brian Keith.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So apparently now Big Bill and Brian Keith are baby faces or just dumb heels.
Well, they're
Because they
done
get,
with Jericho, right? So
are they?
I think so.
Side note, that brings up a good thing. Right now, just for funsies, not putting your feet to the fire or making you do this under oath or anything, but
9 inch.
casino gauntlet battle royal.
Uh-huh.
Any surprises? We see in Jericho?
Oh, God, I hope not.
I think we are.
Yeah.
I think we might see Jericho or, and I sent this to you because now I'm starting to see it a lot more often, or a returning Keith Lee.
Or Baron Corbin shows up.
I mean, that could be too. Baron Corbin, Keith Lee, Jericho. Those are, 3 pretty good options there. But let's get back on track here. So Christian Cage, Nick Wayne win the match. As they mentioned, they want to be tag champs. So after they win, they're walking backstage and MVP bumps into them. And we get this whole thing where MVP's like, hey, Christian, again, you're cool. But this AEW guy fucking sucks. I mean, again, he didn't say that, but that's basically what he was trying to allude to. But Christian Cage comes back and is like, if I want the tag titles, I'll fucking take them. So suck it and get out of here. What'd you think? What'd you think of the whole segment there?
fine. I still feels like we're waiting to pull the trigger with some of this Christian stuff, right? Like, feels like they've had a bunch of ideas that they've paused on, right? It's the Edge thing. It's Nick Wayne. Obviously, we had a forced pause with Luchasaurus, right?
Yeah. That.
But it just feels like we're not really getting to what this all meant.
Yeah, because I agree, because it felt like initially with the patriarchy, it was Christian Cage is going to grind Nick Wayne into dust to prove that he was actually better the entire time. But now we've pivoted and be like, well, now we want to be tag champs. And it's like,
Proud of you,
what?
boy. It's like, wait a minute, what?
And I get that he's not the focus yet, but what are we doing with Kip Sabian too? He's just cool with that? Yeah, these two guys. Because again, you guys could be the trios champs. They were once with Luchasaurus. Now just bring in Kip Sabian and let's go after the ops.
Yeah, or why aren't your two sons the tag team champions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you just hold the titles, just like how when Luchasaurus was the TNT champ.
He's already got a title. Why don't we go after the tag team championship?
Yeah. Yeah, because what's Kip Sabian's purpose?
Yeah, be like, Dad, you and me. Nick's already got a title.
Yeah, I'm something, but yeah, with this MVP thing, I mean, nothing too crazy, right? Essentially, hey, we'll kill you, Christian, suck it, cool. I thought it was fun to just see those two guys on screen since probably the last time was '05, something like that. Um, what else did we get here? Oh, we got Brody King. Always got to talk about Brody King and Templaro. Nailed it. Versus Hechicero and Rocky Romero. Now, Brody King, Templaro get the victory. Brody King, awesome. Rocky Romero, though, we would see one more time. We're doing a backstage interview with Daniel Garcia and the Magic Man, Matt Menard. And Rocky Romero's like, hey, Adam Cole and you were pretty good friends, but isn't it weird that like he was your friend when you were TNT champ? Is he your friend now? Now that he took that title from you? And then he kind of says something to the effect of, looks like you don't have good friends. And then the Magic Man was like, you want to see a trick? And they're like, man, shut the fuck up, right? And he's like, you need a friend, actually a family. You know who to talk to. What'd you make of that?
Well, all right. Daniel Garcia could get away from Matt Menard.
Yes.
He could get a purpose. But he cannot get all of that from being the 9th guy in the Don Callis family, right?
Agreed.
So I don't know what this is.
I could see, hopefully, this is what I would do if you're going to continue with the flirtation of Don Callis family, Daniel Garcia, is Daniel Garcia's like, I was in a group once and I hated it, alluding to the Jericho Appreciation Society, and I hated it. So I don't want your help at all. Punches him, clears the ring, right? Matt Menard's there too. Yeah. And then they go back to back. And then Daniel Garcia's like, and I don't need your fucking help either. And then just does his fucking, an unpretty or whatever to Matt Menard. And he's like, I don't want anybody. And walks out. And now we got a heel. Don Callis is like, well, that guy's stupid. We don't want him anymore. And then Matt Menard kicked to the curb. And now we got the mean.
Could he get the dance over doing it in a mean way? He's got to do it to like people we like when they're in prone, helpless positions. Like in their face, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He also needs a visual change as well. He has a little bit of that Adam Cole build where it's like, put some pants on, brother. Yeah. Your legs are too skinny for that shit. I would also, not to make him like a caricature of like an inner city kid or whatever, but put on, I don't like to call it a wife beater, but put on a tank top, form-fitting tank top. Put him in one of those. Again, go back to that T-shirt that was so fucking cool with
Yeah.
the El Camino and the '90s women, and
Mm-hmm.
like that, man, be that, because
Mm-hmm.
or be Red Dragon and have the fucking towel and kill people.
Yeah,
You know what I
but
mean?
a guy from, you know, I don't know where Daniel Garcia is from in Buffalo, right?
Buffalo, yeah, yeah.
But a a guy from the poorer streets of Buffalo, right, would be a good gimmick.
And you could pay him, and I bet you he'd do it because he's a big pro wrestling fan, and just lend him a couple wrestlers to his fourth row promotion. But get West Side Gun to be with him for a couple weeks, where West Side Gun isn't out there like, in his corner. He just raps his song out, right? It's the yeah, not the, I know he
Yep.
does the we hurt, but like, there you go. And then by the time we're like, yeah, that's a fucking shit, then he's gone, right? He just goes off. And then Daniel Garcia's by himself, right? That would be cooler than, I don't know. Yeah. Either do Red Dragon and kill people with the towel, wipe up their blood, put it around your neck again, and you just collect blood from other people that you've been killing. Or, what's up, bitches? You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but get a haircut, do something, just put on some pants. He looked weird tonight too. He looked like he got out of bed. Like, this is yucky.
Never
Um,
recommend that. Getting out of bed.
no,
That's, don't do
God
that.
no, man. I hate getting out of bed. It sucks. Every time I wake up, I'm like, God damn it, did it again. This
This again?
bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so much
One of these
pain on the fucking
days.
bed. Yeah.
I see you
Yeah.
pussied out again. You say.
You son of a bitch. I will say at the end of the night, in the Battle of the Kyles, which we'll jump ahead to because there are a couple other things we should talk about as
Yeah.
well. Kyle Fletcher beats up Kyle Riley. Kyle Riley prone. Oh God, getting beat up. Uh, the who was it? Was it the Outrunners? Who runs out to save? Oh no, it's Roderick Strong and
Mm.
Adam Cole, and so does Daniel Garcia. But Daniel Garcia kind of keeps side eyeing Adam Cole. It's like, you a bitch. Yeah, you're a
'Cause he
bitch.
is. Uh-huh.
Like, Kyle, are you okay? Okay, cool. Hey, you's a bitch. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you. You know. So it could be something there. As mentioned, Kyle Fletcher beats up Kyle Riley because I did like the "Let's Go
The
Kyle"
crowd
chant.
was the best part. Yeah,
Yeah,
like the thank you, Kyle, right?
yeah. Thank you,
Then
Kyle.
the we want Kyle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were the
yeah.
best. Um, okay. Oh, boy, Megan Bain wins. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to really dig into that. Anthony Bowens calls a shot. This time though, he said Billy Gunn's out of here. So are we doing a heel? Anthony Bowens?
Yeah, I don't know, but I think we had to do a full break from anything related to the
Acclaim.
acclaimed, right? So we had to get rid of him, right?
Well, and even so, with this promo, if you were watching right after they got done with the promo, the first thing you see in the crowd is two guys scissoring. They're like, yeah. And it's just like, again, the pride of pro wrestling. He started off saying that. Yes. 5 tools, 1 rule, carry the 3. I fucking shut up.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would do if I was the heel going up against Anthony Bowens. But yeah, 5 tools, 1 rule, carry the 3. What's your blood type? Just
Yeah.
it's just say
Pay a
all this
quarter to access the bathroom.
shit. Favorite color. What is my favorite dinosaur? All yeah, well, okay, we get it. Like say all
Yeah.
that shit because it's a dumb fucking
It
phrase.
is.
Just
So again, so you referred to yourself as the pride of pro wrestling. We know from previous weeks you call yourself the 5-tool player, but I don't think he said that during this promo. So then if it's my first week watching,
yeah.
I'm like, all right, who's this guy? And he's like, I got 5 tools and 1 rule. Prove them wrong. I literally am going to say to myself, what the fuck does that mean?
And who is them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? And prove who wrong?
Yeah.
What
we
tools?
like you. Yeah. Just No,
If you got
not
five
good.
tools, you got more than one rule. There's a lot of safety involved with tools, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you a Republican trying to get rid of fucking sanctions and
Regulations
regulations?
and
You
shit. Yeah.
fucking dickhead.
Jesus. Ew.
Okay, Sky Blue, Queen Amanada. That's fun.
Hmm.
Um, Ty Mello, Anna Jay, they come out. We get the Spider Woman. Uh, what's her name?
Yeah.
Thekla.
Did she join that group?
I think she's the bad ones, right? I think it's all about the casino battle and they're all going to be in it.
Yeah.
So it's like hey, there they all are, right? But we also, speaking of the women's division, we get Alex Windsor makes a statement and says she is all elite.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently she's wrestled in AEW. I don't remember.
Well, and this is Will Ospreay's wife.
Oh, that's Will Ospreay's wife.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just fucking around when you said that.
No. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So where's the kid? The fucking kid that they always talk about.
Fucking stay home. I don't
I
know.
bet is he putting the ring together? How old's the kid?
Yeah, I don't
Is
know.
he on the ring crew?
Is this -2? What do we got?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're gonna get that third or second generation AEW
Yeah.
fights.
Let's do
-1
-2.
versus
Yeah.
-1. Or yeah, -1 against +1. It's the battle of zeros.
Yeah.
Fucking nerds. That's pretty funny. Yeah, you fucking nerds.
Nerds.
Fucking nerds. I kid. But I didn't realize that was his wife. Okay.
Yep.
Is she good?
I don't know.
I don't
I'm
either.
relaying all this on online too. I'm reading this on this. So if I'm wrong,
Then it's online's fault.
yep.
Yeah, good. I like that. Good. Fuck the.
But I think that was the story when I months ago when this Alex Windsor was signed. That's what it was. Will Ospreay's wife.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I like that. Well, good. Fun. Hopefully she's good because we got a crowded roster
Or
and we don't need to be
I don't know if they're
gonna.
married,
Yeah,
but like
but
you know what I mean. Yeah.
if you're referring to someone else's kid as your kid, you've
Yeah.
gone past the like Facebook official or whatever the fuck it's called now.
Yeah.
God, that dated me. Facebook official. Do they even still do that? I haven't been on Facebook and
I mean, no, I don't. I haven't been on since November at least.
yeah, that was the last time I was on. But yeah, so that's your AEW. Next week, I just did a search of her name, and the first thing that shows up is her hugging Will Ospreay. So yeah, I think you're right.
Yep.
But next week, Dynamite 300, Collision 100. We're getting all the big players involved. Any bold prediction
Think CM
before we
Punk
wrap
shows
up?
up.
No,
Wouldn't that
probably
be-
push a.
What they should get is they should tease the music and then Colt Cabana comes out and fucking on Collision and says a promo. That would be fun. Just
So
flew in from Qatar and boy, am I.
So I doubt that Living Color would let them use the song. But
Right.
the other song is what Roderick Strong is using. And that was his first song, the Kill Switch Engage song.
Yeah.
If you did oh my God, dude, if you did Lights Out, Spotlight, he does the like looking down and you play that song. Oh, that would be the best. To kick off Collision, his show. Oh, FTR would be so pissed. Fuck him though.
Yeah. But yeah,
I'd
and
do
it's just Colt Cabana cheese grinning the whole time. Fucking
Yeah.
God, that'd be great.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's your AEW. My bold prediction for next week is Kenny Omega, I think, will make a return. We haven't seen him in a couple weeks.
We get some kind of title change. We're too
No,
close to
I
the
mean-
pay-per-view.
Again, I would say Mercedes should lose for the first, because that's the other thing too. You know, Kurt Angle wasn't hurt by losing his first match to Taz, and Megan Bain is still kicking ass, and she lost to Tony Storm. You know what I mean? Like your first loss doesn't really mean shit. It's and so I would turn this up a notch by having now Mercedes being like, I'm going to kill you, not just beat you. I'm going to kill you.
I'll let you know if that's true the first time I lose, Tom. If the first loss means shit.
Oh man, brother, I've been losing my whole life. I'll let you know the first time I get a win.
Yes, we
Yeah.
invite you to join us after all of that madness next week, right? Then join us for All Elite Wrap-Up. I don't know, fucking 70? I don't know.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yep. Good
Albeit
numbers.
July 24th, we're coming up on our 12-year show anniversary.
Yeah. Show anniversary. Are you gonna predict that
Or is
John
it
Cena?
13 years or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Are you gonna
did.
predict that?
He did. He did. So, like, it
No, I'm
took
just
a
saying,
while, but
are
we
you gonna
got there.
predict that? Are you gonna predict
Turns
that he
face.
turns baby face?
John Cena turns face. I don't think he can do it again. Look at him. He looks weird. His body
Yeah,
looks
he
weird.
looks. Well, yeah, that's what steroid abuse does to you, and you look like fucking Ernest goes to wrestling camp.
Yeah,
Like,
it's odd.
and that
It really
hair,
is odd.
those hair plugs are not doing you any favors, brother. You still get that
Yeah.
big ass spot.
But join us after all that right here next week. Again, allelitewrapup.com. Subscribe there completely free. You'll know when we're going live and when we're not. And Tom, anything else before we go?
Nope.
Piss off then!